So this is Lost in Seattle. So apparently there's a wave of anti-Asian violence surges going on in California.
Is
Uh,
it just California?
well, as far as I know, it's California. I guess in particular, black people are going around just whooping Asians' ass,
But see,
especially in the Bay Area.
I don't think the Asian versus black thing is not new in California though.
No, history tells you that that's nothing new that's going on
Yeah, we
in
gonna watch.
California.
Yeah, we gonna watch this video here and listen to RT talk about it. We're not Russian bots, people. But if you look at this, and every last one of these attacks, they're just running up to him, just pushing him
Yeah,
to the ground. It's crazy.
there. There's no context of what happened before.
I'm not saying that they did something to get pushed. I'm just saying it's weird that they're just running up to older Asians, just pushing them.
And the narrative is that it's black people that's doing this.
Wait, look, they look black.
Okay.
They do.
Are they black American or are they immigrants?
No, what the hell they got to do with anything?
I'm just asking the question.
Anyway, they're all wearing masks and gloves and stuff, so you can't even tell if they black.
Okay. Why did you get offended with that? Why did you get offended by that?
In the last few days, Chinatown has been quiet as fear takes over the community. The attacks against Asians in the Bay Area, a growing trend.
Didn't they say that hate crimes in general were going up during the pandemic, which made no sense?
So, if hate crimes against Asian Americans have been going on since the start of the COVID pandemic, and I'm just saying the narrative is black people doing it.
Yeah, that's at least in the clip they're showing.
So they're saying since the surge of the COVID-19 pandemic, black people have been specifically whooping Asian people's ass.
Once again, what we've seen, these people are wearing gloves and masks. I do not know what race they are.
Okay.
In this whole clip, they never mentioned the race of the people. This shit right.
This threw me off.
Asians with attitude. We gonna get
niggas with attitude.
We gonna get into that.
We're just trying to send a message out and stop the hate, stop the violence.
Patrol the streets of Chinatown and Oakland to help it keep it safe, and then to stop all this racism and stuff like that. It's like getting tiring, you know. Like we got no voice, none of that.
Sandy Jang says she was shot in the head by a man with a flare gun for no reason last month.
I felt something really hot, like something dropped from the sky on my head.
Like, what the fuck? He just ran up to him, just pushed him down.
He just ran up and pushed him, didn't steal anything, didn't go in his wallet and take anything.
Yeah, this is the thing. These are not robberies. That's the crazy part.
We're seeing countless elders in the Asian American community being targeted, attacked, and robbed throughout the Bay Area.
Hearing all the other stories that happen around San Francisco and other people that are afraid, you know, like that they didn't speak out or they couldn't like post pictures of what happened to them, you know, like I wanted to show people like, you know, this is real. My mom wasn't even robbed. So that was kind of like.
So this is the woman who was pushed down, I guess. She wasn't even robbed. He just ran up to her and pushed her.
So this young dude just ran up and
pushed her.
Pushed this old ass lady down.
Maybe there's some type of something like this happened in New York a few years ago called a knockout game, but they was going around knocking out any old people. I think it was some type of, I don't know. I don't want to say it was a gang initiation, but it was just game these little young kids is playing where they would run around just knocking out old people. So is that what this is?
Unsettling, you know, like you just really just attack someone.
It's black on Asian violence. That's what they want to call it. What about that violence of living in poverty under a system that doesn't seem to care about our people?
Lord.
So they are saying that these are black people because she said they're trying to say it's black on Asian violence, but what if it's poor on poor violence? But hold on,
So she's
if
trying
black
to take it from
being a black
class.
Asian thing to a class thing, but it don't. Okay, let me say this: if these are niggas running around beating on Asian people, as an Asian, yeah, you should handle your business. But why the hell are they trying to turn it into? By the way, are we going to ignore how she was acting like she was this?
a black woman.
She was Sister Soldier right there.
Yeah.
But that's a whole kind of crazy thing. They're saying people are black. Once again, they're all wearing masks and gloves. You can't tell. To me, you can't tell. You know. But we found these websites called Asians Never Die. Now, what does that remind you of?
We don't die.
We multiply. Niggas don't die. So that's one thing that I found kind of funny. But the Asians with attitude thing was kind of obviously
Straight up rip off from
copying
NWA.
NWA. Asians with attitude. And all they do is Asians with attitudes is a movement and unite all Asians and allies to stand up and fight back against racism and hate crimes. But all they do is sell shit.
Yeah, I went on this website, you know, to see what their mission statement was.
When they
their
told their mission
vision
statement,
was.
that's their mission statement right there.
Well, to me, it's more of a photo op and a damn selling merchandise website more than anything.
But
I see it.
But yeah, but look at this. Speaking of NWA, California, remember back in the 90s when the riots was happening and this poor young girl, I think she was like
Letitia
13,
Harlan.
14, she was going in to buy some orange juice from a Korean store, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, and she had the money.
And had the money, walked up to the counter, some type of argument ensued.
She accused her of stealing.
Even though she came to the counter to pay, and she ended up grabbing on her. I think the little girl, did she
And the
punch
little
her?
girl knocked her out.
She punched her, and then she tried to get out of there, obviously, and the woman...
Well, she punched her. She was she grabbed her. She did something to her.
Yeah, she grabbed the little girl, I think.
Then she knocked her to the ground, and she turned her head because she was gonna get ready to leave out of the store. And before she could, as soon as she turned her head, she shot her in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Didn't serve no time.
Nope.
Got away with it.
Yep. So this young girl was killed over some orange juice.
Yep.
But you got to remember, during that time, the riots were happening. The Koreans, there's a video of a Korean dude in the middle of the street shooting at some people. He acting all, Billy Badass. And then some niggas rolled up, some gang members rolled up with their guns. And all of a sudden he put his gun down and now he want peace. So yeah, he wasn't really about that action. But another case of injustice, if y'all remember, the Akai Gurley case where the Asian guy, the Asian guy,
The police officer.
shot him on the damn stairwell. He didn't do anything. He wasn't no warrant. He just shot him because he allegedly, he had a gun in his hand and he tried to open the door with the gun. He tried to open the door with the hand with the gun that was in his hand. So he shot the gun as he was opening the door and shot him on the stairwell. That's the last story I heard about that whole situation.
And what did the Asian people do?
Let's see.
Believe he was scapegoated because of his race. Others stand by the family of Akai Gurley. For more, we're joined right now in New York by three guests. Hortensia Peterson is the aunt of
Akai.
This is his aunt. We don't really need to hear her part. We know what she's going to say. Unfortunately, she had to deal with this bullshit. But we're going to jump to this part right here.
Gurley, even though a number of Asian American organizations have been protesting on behalf of Peter Liang.
Well, our organization started 30 years ago out of supporting Asian immigrants and refugees who were impacted by police and hate violence. And we stood firm that...
Got the hoop earrings on.
Oh, you don't think, do you? I don't think so.
She got the hoop earrings on.
No, I don't think so.
Dude.
No.
Got the hoop earrings on.
No. She ain't
Listen,
got
dude,
jungle
hold
fever.
on. She got the fucking hoop earrings on, and when she done talking to you, when she done with having her little convo with this lady, pause it again.
All right.
That we had to address issues and root causes of violence that impact communities of color that's perpetuated by the state and by the police. And police continue to carry on with being held accountable. We couldn't let that happen in this case. And we got involved because we didn't want race to be the reason why Peter Liang wasn't held accountable. At the end of the day, he has a uniform and he's an officer and he needs to be held accountable.
Professor John Liu, you
Got the hoop earrings
Nah. I don't think she got jungle fever. I think you pushing it.
Okay.
Your response.
John Liu.
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much for having me on this show. This is a very complex case. It does not fit neatly into what people typically see as a black-white model of race relations. I guess you had introduced me earlier as a supporter of Peter Liang. I wouldn't quite characterize it that way. I've never met Peter Liang. I don't know him. But I do agree with many Asian Americans in New York and beyond, and you can see from the tens of thousands of people who actually protested the initial verdict of manslaughter that Peter Liang was being scapegoated, being blamed for all of the...
How is he being scapegoated for being charged with a crime that he committed? So what you're saying is, hey, you ain't charge those crackers, you ain't finna charge us.
Pretty much.
If you didn't charge the white people, you're not gonna charge this Asian dude.
The Asian people felt like we're not gonna get the
black treatment.
We're not gonna get the black treatment. This Asian man is not gonna be the scapegoat for all you
white crimes.
Police officers that have gotten off.
If
He's not gonna be the one to go.
If you let them get off, he got to get off.
And the same thing happened again in the one that got shot on Facebook with his girlfriend in the car.
Oh yeah.
Fidel Castro, something like that.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Remember, it was a Hispanic guy that shot him.
Yeah, and they said, hey,
they did the same thing. He got off too.
Yeah, you have no allies, black people.
Criminal justice ills that have gone wrong in this country. And so people in the Asian American community really do sympathize with the family of Akai Gurley, his aunt here. There's nobody who's against Akai and his family. No one's saying that his life was meaningless. In fact, you know, he's a young man who held promise and was trying to do the right thing. But at the same time, you also have a feeling in the Asian American community that Liang was that too much was put on him. That, you know, in the trial, the DA actually talked about how this was not about criminal justice in the rest of the country. It was not about the NYPD. It was just about Liang. And so how can this be about holding the entire system accountable when it seems like it's all just about holding this one officer accountable?
What's wrong with holding this one officer accountable? So you get the idea of this. They went back and forth on this. Once again, when Akai Gurley was killed, you had agents all throughout New York marching in the streets to get that cop off. So I want to hear this bullshit about how, you know, Asians are just this poor group. Oh, why you bothering these Asians? Now, let me say this. If niggas are out there in Cali, just running up to Asian people and pushing them down, old people, then hey, handle your business. Do what you got to do. Them niggas, I don't know what they own. But once again, I personally have not seen a video of a black person doing it. I've seen people with masks and gloves and covered up completely.
Judgment. Judgment.
So, you know, it is what it is. Do what you got to do. And, you know, it is what it is. So that anti-Asian bullshit can go on somewhere. Because even the dude out in, was that Milwaukee? The cop who was raping black women? The Asian cop? A few years ago? He got charged, though. He had like 20 counts.
No, what pisses me off is he's sitting here pretending like, you know, Asian people are just so innocent. They are some of the most rudest people you can ever encounter. And I don't give a fuck what people say. I live in Seattle. There is a lot of Asian people in Seattle. And let me tell you something. They are some of the rudest people you can encounter ever.
Yeah. But so, let's see how they try to push this to be an issue.
But I thought the Bay Area was, ain't that where E40 from?
No. Yeah, Bay Area supposed to be super multicultural.
Year. They get to say nigga and everything. It's just a different culture out there.
When niggas they're accusing you niggas of running up on their old people, and they got Asians with attitude waiting for you.
Yep. They said y'all got niggas with attitude. We got Asians with attitude.
Come get the smoke. But anyway, man, all praise to the Most High.